Rich Girard. Thanks for tuning in. You can find us online at GirardAtLarge.com, and you can find us on Facebook and Twitter, also at GirardAtLarge, where we encourage you to like us and to follow us because we just want to be loved. All right, well, thanks for telling me that, because that means my Gmail switched over to a different account, which it shouldn't be in. So, all right, joining us now is Hal Shurtleff. He is, I don't know, no, you're going to talk right to the front. Okay. Hal is with Camp Constitution. It's an organization that runs a summer camp.
Among other things, yeah.
Among other things. That I have to tell you that my kids have thoroughly enjoyed. It's one of those things where the moment we start to depart, they're like, we're coming back next year, right, Dad? So, and we love the camp for any number of reasons, not the least of which it's teaching our kids about our country's heritage and Constitution, proper context for all of the discussions and what they really mean. And it's just also a great summer camp experience in terms of the things you would expect to do at a camp. So, but Hal's here to talk. It's registration time already. Give us some details and some insights on what the coming camp will bring. Hal, good morning.
Well, good morning, and thanks for having me on again.
Welcome back.
I just want to point out you have outstanding children, and we really enjoy them. And your son Dominic wrote a nice little article on our camp blog a few months ago.
Yes, and I threw that up on Facebook, and I'm sure you saw there was a surge of activity
on
that blog. I mean, I was shocked
it was
by how many people read it.
His experience in school and how he's sort of defending the faith and defending the principles that you and your wife have raised him on, and which are also promoted at our camp.
Yes, well, let's get into it.
Anyway, this year's camp will run from Sunday, July 10th to Sunday, July 17th at the beautiful Towanipi Christian Retreat Center in Ringe, New Hampshire, which is in the southwest corner of the state. Not too terribly, about an hour from here, maybe a little more than an hour and a half.
Yeah. Ringe ain't exactly easy to get to, but it's not a terrible burden.
Well, the thing is, it's not in the wilderness, but it's rural. You know, you can see the stars at night. When you live in Boston, you don't always have that opportunity to see the stars at night. And our feature instructor, Chris Hall, to be returning, to be a third year.
Yes.
Her first year was 2 camps ago, and she came with her son just for a few days, and they didn't want to leave. And last year they came with the son and the husband, and they stayed pretty much the whole week.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and she's becoming quite well known. She travels around the country.
And now she's the one, if I recall, because on the ride back, among other things, we get a blow-by-blow of all the different things. But she's the one who was talking about state sovereignty and state rights.
Yes,
right?
that's correct. Right. Not my state. Well, states don't have rights. People in the states have the rights. Right. Yeah. Well, so a lot to do with the 9th and 10th Amendments.
Right. Yeah. The forgotten duo.
Yeah, that's right. These so-called dead letters. That's what these progressives and the neo-cons. Oh, they're dead letters. We're embarrassed about that. As Alan Keyes so eloquently put back in September in Portsmouth, New Hampshire.
Yes, and that was, that reminds me, I don't know if I ever posted that audio. I'm probably going to have to do it because Alan Keyes, this was at the Constitution Day.
That's right.
Held by the National Heritage Center for Constitutional Studies, based out of Epping, New Hampshire.
That's right.
He was the featured speaker, and that was just, Alan Keyes is an amazing individual, that's all you can say.
And anyway, so also along with Chris Ann Hall, as far as our instructors, we got a few that we have not get confirmation from. So I don't want to say we may have this person or that person until we actually get the confirmation. Ron Pike, I know will be there. He's a regular on your show here. He's our campfire director, and I think we have him lined up to do a class on global warming.
Oh, really?
That there isn't any man-made global warming, even though we're having a relatively mild winter.
Well, that's called El Nino, and it's been around for centuries.
That's right. And what's interesting, Ron and his dad they're scientists. They have degrees, and there's a petition that went out, started by Dr. Arthur Robinson out of the northwest part of the country. 30,000 plus scientists have signed this in the United States, that there is no man-made global warming. And Ron and his dad are both signers of this petition. He may not have mentioned that to you, but anyway, then we have Garrett Lear, who's the Patriot pastor from New Hampshire. I hope to see him today at the State House.
He's a New Hampshire guy?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know he was a New Hampshire guy.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Well, he's originally from Lexington, Massachusetts. Okay.
But why do they call him the Patriot pastor?
Well, because he is he's 6'7", and he wears the black robe of colours you remember back in the time of the War of Independence.
Okay.
And he carries a replica musket that fires.
Now, does he do any sort of teaching
Oh,
about
yes.
the, well, remember back in colonial times, or the revolutionary times, it was the Black Robe Brigades.
Right.
Does he get into that?
Oh,
at all?
definitely. Oh, definitely. Yeah, yeah. So he'll be doing a few classes. Also, this year we're taking a all-day field trip to Lexington Green and Lexington, Massachusetts.
Oh, cool. So you guys get a little Lexington Green.
yes.
You know, I've never been there. I'm gonna
Oh,
have to
well,
take
well
a day
why
off
don't
and
you
go.
come on with us? Yeah, you'll love this. And on the way down, we'll do a little history. We try to redeem the time as much as possible. So we take the bus ride down, and we'll discuss what happened in Lexington. And our plan is to, Garrett will meet us at Lexington Green. By the way, Garrett Lear traces ancestors. He's got a Minuteman in his ancestors.
Does he really?
Yeah, yeah. So he makes it come alive, and then we'll probably visit the Monroe Tavern. We're not going to be getting a drink there, folks. Don't worry about it. That's one of the places where the militiamen met.
Yeah, the adults can get a drink. The rest of it, let them know.
And the Hancock Clark House, which was these places, of course, the original buildings. And so that's pretty much, when we have box lunch, pretty much takes up a day. And it's interesting because you're going to get a narrator, probably the most qualified person in the world, to give that narration.
Cool.
Lots of us have been there. I can do a half-decent job, but he's really the expert at it. So we also will take an optional hike to Mount Monadnock. We may have an additional optional field trip. And camp is, you mentioned, a lot of fun, even though we have, it's a full day. You know, the campers wake up at 7. We have an optional run or swim in the morning. I know Dominic's a good runner. He likes to run.
Yes, he does.
See, I'll be 57 at camp, and I've been involved in these camps for years. I used to be able to, these guys couldn't even keep up with me. Now that 57, I have to keep up with them. I'm missing a step or two,
Well,
lost a step or two, but what, as long as I can still do it.
Well, just keep taking steps and you'll lose fewer.
That's right, that's right. So, anyway, we have flagpole in the morning, we do a devotion, and we want the campers involved now, obviously, and we do the flag raising and breakfast, and then we have 3 classes in the morning, 50 minutes in duration. We actually have 3 levels.
15 or 15?
50,
Okay.
yeah. We have 3 levels. We have a intermediate level of understanding. We have an advanced class, and then we have what we call the Patriot Camp. These are for youngsters from 5 to 11, and it's a great program where they learn a lot about our nation's history, but get to that level, and they'll be wearing we have a lot of colonial outfits, and they do little parades, and they'll dress up, and we have certain programs for them as well. And then afternoon activities, there's a beautiful lake, there's a indoor rock climbing wall, volleyball, outdoor volleyball, and full-length basketball court, fishing, canoeing, swimming. We even have ballroom dancing.
Really?
I don't know if Dominic and your daughters were involved in it.
I don't recall hearing about.
And it was an optional thing. It's here was a beautiful warm summer afternoon, and here's some of these campers on their own, and they asked permission because we do have strict standards about holding hands and all that. So we thought, for the sake of the ballroom dancing, we would waive that, and it was quite a neat to see these.
There's no fraternizing among the campers.
Well, you can fraternize, but we have strong standards. We take the local parentage very seriously.
Okay.
So anyway, but it was really neat, and it was nice to see. We did it 2 or 3 days in a row, and we're going to keep doing that if we want to do it.
Oh, cool.
So. Yeah, so listening to the old classic music, dancing to it was kind of neat.
So a couple of questions here. Is there a specific age range? Is it just for kids? Is it for their parents or adults? And how young can kids be there and without their parents?
Well, it's a family camp, so whole families can come. This would be mom, dad, infants, little toddlers, all the way up to as long as you can get there physically.
Okay.
So, but we do have unaccompanied minors, and usually 12 to 17. Sometimes if there were siblings, and like if you're 11 and on their own, that's a judgment call on the parents. Very well supervised. We have a camp doctor, a camp nurse, a camp lifeguard. So safety is very important to us, of course. And sometimes families will show up, and maybe dad will be the counselor in the boys' cabin, and mom will stay with the little ones, or what have you. And because it would be wrong for mom.
Do you have family accommodations?
Yes, we can actually put families if they need a room. We can put just families in a room. So we do it, but And every year, Toanippi seems to get better. They just put a new building by the beautiful, they replaced this funky combination of trailers topped onto one another. And now they get this beautiful right on the lake, so we have a lot more combination.
Now, you've mentioned a couple things, religious items like morning devotionals and things
Yes.
like that, which I assume are optional, right? Is this a non-denominational?
It's non-denominational. It's not a Christian camp in the sense that it's run by a church. It's an all-volunteer association made up of people from different walks of faith. But we do believe that there is a God in heaven and rights come from God. And we respect those who might be of the Catholic persuasion or various Protestant denominations. So.
Right. Now, if someone is not religious at all, but they want to get the education,
they're welcome to come.
They're welcome to come. So they're not required to participate in any sort of religious
Well, no.
activity.
All we do in the morning is we have morning prayer,
Yeah.
and we have devotions in the evening. Read from the scriptures, and that's probably the extent of it. But some of the classes we're definitely promoting the notion that rights come from God. The purpose of government is to protect those God-given rights, and that our founders, for the most part, had a strong belief, Christian
Our
belief.
founders, for the most part, set it up that way
That's
because
right.
that was their belief system.
That's right, yeah.
Mhm.
So some of those things are pretty much undeniable.
Yeah. All you have to do is actually read the historical documents.
You see that famous painting of Washington at Valley Forge in the woods. Right? He didn't drop a coin, he's looking for his coin. And at the convention, at the Constitutional Convention, Benjamin Franklin, who was known to be, they referred to him as a deist. Well, he couldn't have been a deist. He may not have been a traditional, theologically correct person, but when he said that if a sparrow can't fall to the ground without the Lord knowing, a great nation can't rise up. That is not a statement by a deist. And then they prayed. They got on their knees. It wasn't one of these little amen. I mean, they were there for a couple of hours. They weren't looking for coins they dropped. That's what the revisionists were telling you.
All right, so as we're winding down here, how can people register for the camp, learn more? And I know it's a registered New Hampshire charitable organization,
Yes.
so you also have the ability and the obligation, because of your registration, to sort of help families with
Definitely.
Who are financially challenged. So let's talk about that a little bit, so everybody knows that it's not this big expensive
No,
thing
it's
that
not,
you
no.
might not be able to afford.
It's all volunteer, so we do pay honorariums for travel expenses for a few people. The website's www.campconstitution.net,
Okay.
and you can find the applications there. We tell people if it's a financial issue, pay what you can, we'll cover the rest. We've never turned any worthy camper or family for lack of funds, and we do have lots of good people that will support us. We have a sponsors page. If you say, gee, I don't have any children, I don't know any children, but I can help out. You can go to the website, and there's a place where you can help out. And just for a small amount of money, you can put your business, or maybe a friend's business, on there. We have you. You've been a big help. You help us with the advertising. You've put me on here, and of course, we'd love to have your children. And so I think if you go to the website, you'll see our little banner ads there too.
Oh, well,
Yes.
I'll be sure to go take a look, and it's not going to happen.
No, I mean your website.
Ah,
Yeah.
yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Your banners are on our website.
But you're listed on as a sponsor. It's because, yeah.
Thank you. And and I will say this. I mean, my kids love it. We actually plan stuff that we do in the summer around the camp. They're eager to go back. It's a great experience. You guys, and what's really kind of neat is my kids have met folks literally from all over the
Sure,
country who
yeah.
come to this. So they get pen pals and all this other
Yeah,
fun stuff.
from
out of it.
Florida to Michigan.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we talked about doing a remote. I don't know if that's going to work out or not.
Well,
but,
we had a chat there with the people on the technical side of it. I'll revise or review that conversation, because there were some difficult challenges
Yeah,
that
yeah.
we were going to have to deal with that. So I'm not sure if we can pull it off, but we'll look into it again.
Excellent.
All right, Hal
All right,
Shurtleff
thanks for
from
having me.
Camp Constitution. Thanks for coming in to share that registrations are now open. CampConstitution.net is where you can go for all of the details and to register. Stay tuned. His Honor the Mayor is up next.